Hi, I'm Scott Offerdahl, co-founder of Awesome Institute, where we coach and teach executives to level up their leadership by being more human at work. In this video, we're going to lay out a 3-step roadmap to developing EQ. You probably know that employee engagement is the key to performance and retention. Disengaged employees are an expensive problem, and it's happening in your organization. One study shows that disengaged employees cost the US economy $350 billion a year. That's basically throwing 34% of your employees' annual salaries in the garbage. The key to genuine employee engagement is having leaders with high emotional intelligence, or EQ. And it's been shown that EQ is a skill everyone can learn. This is a huge opportunity. When we see leaders that we're working with turn their attention to their emotions, they're able to move forward in new and powerful ways they had not before. So, how do you identify leaders that need help developing their EQ and engaging their employees? What we typically see in low EQ leaders are some or all of the following 3 characteristics. 1, they have a low tolerance for what they call drama, which is often just code for how people are feeling. 2, their teams might have high turnover, or people say they are hard to work with. And 3, they have trouble recognizing either their emotions and/or the emotions of the people around them. They're often mostly talking from their head and talking mostly about action. So for instance, if I were to ask them, how are you feeling about the recent budget cutbacks? They might answer, I think this, or we should do that, rather than focusing on the feelings. Once you've identified leaders with these characteristics that could benefit from working on EQ, what do we do next? Let's drill down into the 3 ways that they could develop EQ. 1, build awareness of the emotions of other people. Let's say that a leader is struggling with an employee. There have been some budget cutbacks, and the employee has just been far less productive than usual. To develop EQ, the leader could ask themselves, I wonder what that employee is feeling about the budget cutbacks. Or even better, they could actually ask the employee directly. By the way, all difficult situations involve emotions. If you aren't dealing with the emotions, it doesn't mean they aren't there. It just means you aren't working with them yet. 2, build awareness of emotions in themselves. The second step is for the leader to investigate their own emotions. The leader will always have emotions about difficult situations, and these emotions are affecting everything. One of the easiest ways to do this is to have a printed list of emotions, and then they can just look at the list and point. For example, we have a list that you can download from our website at awesomeinstitute.com/emotions. Without getting too deep into the science of it, it turns out that naming emotions is a beautiful way to build EQ muscle and to connect the cortex with the limbic system in the brain. 3, include emotions in problem solving. Once the leader has identified both their emotions as well as the emotions of the other person, now they can add those into the mix when they're working through the situation. It can be really tempting during problem solving to just try and sort of think our way through. So we need to remind ourselves that all human situations involve emotions. The leader could ask themselves, what's one thing I could do differently, knowing how we each feel about the situation? This is still a really practical step though. We're not talking hugs and trust falls. All we're doing is taking into account the way human beings actually work, that every human situation involves emotions. It's been this way for millions of years. And leaders that learn to work with their humanity have a massive competitive advantage in working with people. Oh, and one more thing. If you have intractable problems, things you're stuck on, or things that just aren't getting resolved, what we almost always see as executive coaches is that usually people are missing the most important piece of the puzzle. That is the emotions involved. So, by 1, building their awareness of the emotions in other people. 2, building their awareness of the emotions inside themselves. And 3, including those emotions in their problem solving. Leaders can develop their EQ and become a more powerful and a more compassionate leader. And that is what will drive employee engagement. At Awesome Institute, we help companies create cultures where people can be more human at work. Like we just talked about today, unlocking the performance of your people is your highest return on investment. So if you want to dramatically improve the productivity, the happiness, and the creativity of your team, simply schedule a free discovery session with us. Click the link below, or you can go to awesomeinstitute.com and click Book Call to talk with us. Let's make the world of work more human and more productive together.